Heavy is the head that has to manage all of this.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel.
We're now incentivized to buy what we already buy.
Fumbling through college had me building.
I also got some done on the other side.
And that was right around, I would say, May, maybe, right before renewing the lease for this property.
Welcome to the channel, Martha.
Thank you for having me here.
Oh, I was going to say, I am getting up in their names, I'll tell you what.
Bills paid by other people, life was never this good. I had to step back, knowing that it's...
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So it's very apparent that the world is divided. There's so many things going on in our society today, so many rabbit holes that you can go down. And honestly, I'm just more worried about what affects you. That's right, what affects you? You see, not everybody's going through the same situations. Not everybody's going through the same struggles or going through the same accomplishments and successes right now. And so you want to really, truly understand how certain things, how political views, how laws affect you. So for example, let's go over a few of them. 2026, expected to be the greatest tax refund in the history of America. How is that the greatest tax refund in the history of America, you say? Well, there's so many things that can benefit the everyday working American. That is one of the reasons why Trump was reelected as president of the United States. A lot of people don't like him, especially who are Democratic or heard his views on the Somali people, which I also stated I did not agree with. However, why would someone vote for President Donald Trump? Well, it's because they felt richer during his presidency, and this is why. If you have a child, I don't have any children, but I do know people who have children. My best friend has a child. There's going to be a bigger tax credit than ever before to have a child and to have had a child. And if you are now having a child in 2025, 2026, you can also put some money in a savings account for that child and they will get $1,000. So that is just an additional blessing to add to that child's life. Now, is $1,000 life-changing? It can be in the right hands of a financially smart individual, or it can be in the hands of a family that was struggling before and happened to have a baby. Now, there's a lot of people who are living off the fact that they have children, using government assistance to sustain their entire existence and their entire life, but we won't get into that today. We'll get into people who are actually trying to work and better themselves and how the tax system truly impacts them. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime up until a certain amount. This is going to affect the job market in many ways. If you're a doctor who is on salary, but your rate is $100 an hour, you might say, instead of making $300,000 a year and being taxed on $140,000 of that, why not, let's say you're taxed on $120,000 of that, why not do some overtime and maybe you're taxed on $80,000 or $100,000 instead of $120,000? If you're going to be in the office anyway, more than 40 hours a week anyway, would you prefer a salary job or would you prefer an hourly job? For restaurant workers, those who work in the restaurant industry and do more than 40 hours a week, I used to be a restaurant general manager. I understand how difficult that is and how at a minimum we were required to work 50 hours a week. Didn't matter if I was at Domino's, didn't matter if I was at Tim Hortons, didn't matter if I was at Wendy's. 50 hours a week, bare minimum. The only job where I was an hourly worker after I started to become a general manager was Dairy Queen. They had me on an hourly salary. I was so happy to come in anytime they would want, anytime they would ask, because I knew that I would get paid for that overtime every time. And I was super elated by that. I think that the restaurant industry is a hard industry to change because money is so tight and food costs can be so high. However, there are going to be some innovators within that space that's going to say, we can pay our people for working hard, and so we're going to make changes. And I believe Chick-fil-A is probably going to be one of those industries that are willing to sacrifice a little bit of their own money in order to make sure their employees are happy and actually pay them for their hours worked. I believe Chick-fil-A may already be on an hourly structure where they don't actually pay a salary. And so this really won't affect them outside of the fact that people won't be taxed on the overtime. So it affects the employees that much more. There's going to be a flock of people, of restaurant workers, I mean, high quality talent. They're all going to want to work for these type of companies. And so Chick-fil-A is probably going to, I would, does Chick-fil-A have a stock? Honestly, this might be the time to buy. And I am not your stock market advisor, so please do your own due diligence. But if Chick-fil-A had a stock in the stock market, I'm buying that right now. Not because their food quality is going to improve, but because the quality of people that work for them. If you thought they were good before, you're about to witness an entirely different level. Like, I was talking to a coworker today. They said they had this Parmigiani sauce or something like that. I was like, what type of fancy sauce is that? They said, oh, you don't go to Chick-fil-A? That's a Chick-fil-A sauce. Well, guess what? There's going to be a herd of people going to Chick-fil-A more than ever before. Those stores are making millions of dollars, and they're going to make millions more because the quality of service, the type of people that they're going to be interacting with is going to be on an absolutely different level. And I'm here for it. So the next thing that I want to address, we've already addressed no tax on tips. We've already addressed babies earning, well, basically allowing more of a credit to families. And then we got to keep the tax reduction um, from when Trump was president the last time. It was about to expire, and he made sure to keep that in play. Um, Now, I believe that the no tax on tips quote don't um, hurt me if I'm wrong, but I know I stated no tax on tips, but I believe that that may not have gone through. I believe there may have been pushback on that. However, the no tax on overtime, I believe, is set to take effect in 2026, which is going to be great. And of course, it's up to a certain amount. I'm not going to just say that it's unlimited overtime for people. No, not at all. We do understand that there's going to be a limit to the amount of overtime that can be worked without it being taxed. Um, However, this is going to incentivize people to work more, work longer, work harder. I believe that there's going to be a a difference in the energy in the environments that we're in when we go into different businesses and establishments, how we're treated. It will be of the utmost level, especially when people are still looking for work and still looking for jobs and they're hard to find as is. You're going to want someone who is willing and happy to be there. So with that being said, I expect 2026 to be filled with a lot of stuff. We already went over the Fed rate cut, how that's going to affect the economy and lower mortgage rates. And so there's going to be a lot of blessings coming our way in 2026. If you thought 2025 was rough and tough, it kind of was. Heavy inflation, stuff was sticky, tariffs going up and down out of control, people not necessarily knowing where the government was going to go, Bitcoin shooting to the moon and now it's crashing down like it's going through its own recession as interest rates drop because people are moving their money out and putting it back in the markets and trying to invest in other vehicles. We understand that there was so much going on. But now we have the opportunity to start to reflect in December, going into 2026 and seeing how we're going to operate in these markets. Not to mention, I can't believe I almost forgot government shutdowns, the longest in history. It's unbelievable what was going on. And so, could 2026 possibly be worse or possibly be better than all of the gains that we have seen? I would say yes. I would say absolutely yes. If 2026, if 2025 was a bad year for you, 2026 can only be better. I'm very optimistic about 2026 and what the future holds. I believe a lot of people should be optimistic on 2026 and what the future holds because I believe that there is a lot of opportunity, a lot more businesses about to take hold and get going. You understand? And if you like this video, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. If there's a topic you want me to talk on or touch on more, let me know in the comment section down below. We went through a variety of things, and I can't wait to see what happens. I can't wait to see you on the next one. Peace.